You know, as an artist, I don't want someone to apprentice me just because I'm black.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't like when people come and get tattooed by me just because I'm black, which has happened a couple times, and they've meant it in a good way. I've done, Black Lives Matter tattoos on people and stuff like that. Like, it's cool and all, but come to me because you like my art, or apprentice me because you think I'm worthy, not because of my skin color. My name's Will Greene. I work at Yellowbird Tattoo in Richmond, Virginia. Been tattooing about 6 years. It's my favorite thing to do in the world. And every shop I went to, there weren't any black people in it. And that's kind of still true today, honestly. There's like a few, I'd say, big names in the tattoo industry that are black people. There's a lot of Spanish people on the West Coast really kill it over there. But as far as black people in the industry, there's not a whole lot of people that like I could really look up to when I started out. Well, I was in college and it wasn't for me, and I was trying to figure out a way that I could make a living while still doing something that I felt passionate about. I didn't want to be, just behind a desk or anything like that. So I was getting a lot of tattoos at the time. I, just turned 18, and I was sitting in the tattoo shop, and it just kind of dawned on me that that's somewhere that I wouldn't mind spending, a good amount of time at. I got tattooed by this dude named Big Daddy Jazz, and he's been tattooing for about 25 years. That's a big black dude. Like, he's the man, He's been tattooing in Brooklyn for a long time. This was probably about a year ago I met him. So yeah, I've been tattooing for quite a while before I met someone, a person of color that I again, had been tattooing like 25 years, like crazy long time, you know what I mean? Like, somebody that showed me that this does have longevity. I think that a well-rounded tattooer can do anything that comes in the door. So other than American traditional, I like to do pretty much whatever you got. A style would probably be a little bit more modernized traditional. Like, I did these, Jordan 1s up there. Like, that's not something Sailor Jerry would have done, you know what I mean? But it follows all the same rules. I wouldn't call it neo-traditional because that's a bit more elaborate and detailed, but it's just more of a modernized American traditional. I get a lot of people that come in here and I'll see their sneakers, they'll see mine, and we spark up a conversation, and they end up sitting down in a chair and getting tattooed, I try to just make everybody, feel comfortable, and I don't think that being a black guy really affects, or it shouldn't affect that. It shouldn't matter kind of how I look, as long as I'm doing good tattoos. Certain people kind of write me off as far as like, when I'm standing there, they think I'm the desk guy. Like, they don't think I'm a tattooer, just because I'm like standing there. They just assume that I wouldn't be a tattooer. So Zach, my coworker, is pretty new to tattooing. Tattooing dark skin versus tattooing white skin, you gotta treat it a little differently. And also explaining to customers certain limitations based on darker skin. That can be a little awkward for a white guy, you know what I mean? Sorry, you can't get this, you're too black. Like, it's not good customer service, you know what I mean? Especially when people of color come in and get tattooed, I try and help Zach, understand that you don't do it the same way. For example, with shading, you don't need to put as much in as you would on white skin, because you want to let it breathe a lot. You want the skin tone to show through, and it helps the tattoo, it helps to show everything going on without getting too muddy. You know what I mean? It's a little bit more forgiving on a white person you know, for obvious reasons. But you can still do any tattoo that you would do on a white person, on a black person. You just gotta treat it a little differently. With Zach, I'll try and help him and guide him into, you know, being able to tattoo, like I say, anything that walks in the door. Because that's what a good tattooer is, you know. Any skin tone, any skin condition. Being a black dude, I have obviously a lot of black friends, and I tattoo a lot of black people, and I did that early on. So I'm able to look at tattoos that I did 5 years ago and be like, oh my God, that looks awful. I should have done less shading. I should have made it bigger. I should have taken out more lines and, you know, put a little less detail to get that point across. You know what I mean? Tattooing that type of skin, the only thing that I would try and pay attention to would be trying to make sure I get like the culture right. If I'm doing, let's say, a sugar skull on a Spanish person, I don't want to do, you know, a Japanese version of it or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of Spanish people get religious tattoos, you know? So I want to make sure that like my subject matter is correct and like I'm not just pulling off some random Jesus head and saying this is good enough, you know what I mean? A lot of people get tattoos from their culture, and I try and be like conscious of it as far as, you know, trying to just nail it and get it exactly how they would have gotten it if they were in their own country. Tattooing has really kind of embraced the whole Black Lives Matter movement. I see a whole lot of tattooers that I didn't expect to be like so, you know, adamant about, like I said, reposting all these things and getting information out and making flash and all that stuff. Tattooing is really stuff. And of course there's those, you know, there's those few that are just kind of not getting with the times, you know. There's a lot of tattooers that, you know, are in the deep, dark woods of Georgia somewhere doing like Nazi tattoos and stuff like that, you know. But for the most part, it's definitely going in the right direction. Yeah. Which I think is only gonna help getting more, you know, more people of color in the industry. I mean, there's already a lot if you go to places like New York City or something like that, but even somewhere as diverse as Richmond, there's not a whole lot of people of color tattooers, you know what I mean?